Hey, welcome to Happy Tales of Happy Tales, the podcast where you'll hear stories of the way pubs have touched our hearts and our lives. So for the next few minutes, let everything else go and just listen and smile. I'm your host, Julie Jackson.
I don't have the adulting shirt 1 star, but I feel like I need that too, because adulting's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Would not recommend. I know.
Yes, do not recommend. Yes.
Here's Dottie in the cone of fame.
Oh, Dottie.
Our first medium-sized dog.
Oh, what, sweet girl, why are we in the cone?
I think her and sister got into a rambunctious little kerfuffle, and she got a nice puncture wound under her chin.
Oh.
$464 emergency that day.
Oh, and she's looking like
great, and she's happy. It's not bugging her at all, and she's a champ. She let the vet do their thing, and
but she's got that look on her face like, please take this off.
I know, almost. One more day.
Tomorrow. Oh, good girl. Good girl. She's so cute.
Super stoked. This is the first pod I've ever been on.
Well, me too. Yes, awesome. Okay, so who are you going to tell us about?
Okay, so I would like to share about our Jack. We had Jack for over a decade. He's the Roddy I always wanted. I just always loved Roddy colors, that black and tan. They were always so handsome. And my mom would always tell me she would disown me if I ever got a Rottweiler because of their bad raps. And,
okay.
But he was definitely a mix and a mutt, but he had the Rottweiler head, and his personality was we nicknamed him Suspicious Jack because he always kind of looked skeptical, like you were a little sketchy, not quite sure of what the situation was.
Right.
We had him in the laundry room for the first part of his time with us, and he had a kennel in there, and he would often go in there when it was dark, and guests that were over our house would walk by that hallway, and they would just basically see his eyes and this long, large growl, and they would scare the bejeebus out of them. But Brian would say, my husband would say, that he was like the creature on the Munsters, Spot, who lived under the stairwell.
Yes.
Dragon under there, because they weren't suspecting him. But the story that I wanted to share, that we tell often to whoever will listen, is when it was around Halloween time. Actually, I don't even think it was Halloween time, but there was a certain Halloween mask that we had, and Brian put that Halloween mask on and came downstairs with it.
Oh.
And scared Jack so bad that literally poop came out.
Oh, no.
The joke is that literally Jack got the crap scared out of him because he did not know it was Daddy. He just thought it was this monster coming downstairs.
Oh, bless his heart.
And because he barked and dropped the juice simultaneously. So that's our Jack got the crap scared out of him story. Yes.
And you're kind of like, dude, that just destroyed all the street cred that you've built from haunting people from under the stairs.
Right. You look so rough and tough, and you just couldn't even keep your crap together. Like
literally. Oh.
Yeah. But we loved it. And his other talents, other than pooping when scared, he was a good singer. He would always sing whenever I sang, and he'd do the and it was so sweet. We have many a video of him singing with us, and he, like dogs often do, they hide when they're sick, and they don't let you know sometimes until it's really, really serious.
Yes.
So to change the tone of the pod real quickly.
Yeah.
He started one day normal as can be, and then by that evening he was lethargic and his tongue was gray, and we knew something was off. And so we lost him that night. We took him in, and he had splenic tumors and we had to
Oh.
say goodbye to him, and it was horrible and heart-wrenching. But like I said, we had over a decade of really wonderful memories with him, and we adored him. He was he had big squishy paws, and when he'd like do crossy paws, when he'd sit, or lay down with both paws stacked on top, I'd say double squish, like double stuffed Oreos, double the squish.
I love it when they do that too. It's like so regal or so, just like so official.
Very
Oh,
good.
sweet Jack. That's awesome. I love it. Bless his heart. He's like, why are you telling that story now, Mom?
You could have told anything.
And I know. And you know what? Jack, wherever you are listening from right now, she can come back and tell other Jack stories later, but that one was a great one.
Yeah, that one gets a lot of laughs at parties for sure.
Oh my gosh. I know, and it's so funny because their personalities are just so, like they do stuff and then you can tell they're either like, oh, that was so embarrassing, or oh, like they are just like, oh my gosh.
It
Can't
was
believe that
just
just happened.
simultaneous bark and poop drop that really did it.
Yeah.
Because he was ready to defend us, but also scared crapless.
Yes, but he was really scared at the same time. Good on him. Good on him. Okay, so also you have a really great dog related business. Tell us about your business and what you
Yes.
do.
So 4 years ago, I saw a commercial for WAG on TV. And at that time, I was full-time at home and not getting out much. And so with my love for dogs and the need to get outside more, I thought this was the perfect way to get some activity in and some exercise. So I signed up on the WAG app platform, which for those that have never heard of it, it's like Uber for dog walking. So it's like you can do on-demand walks, you can schedule boarding, sitting, they even do training now, or 30 or 60-minute walks or 20 minutes. So I signed up for that, have been doing it ever since. And through that have met a lot of amazing, doggy clients and owners. And so through word of mouth and friends, I also do private dog sitting and boarding. So sitting is in the pet owner's home. Boarding is when they come to our Bark and Barton bed and breakfast.
I love it. I love it.
Our two fur girls, and they just get that, one-on-one attention, 24-hour care, potty breaks whenever needed, walks, all the love that they could ask for. And we love doing it and opening up our home. And with Jack, unfortunately, his personality didn't mesh well with most dogs. So I wasn't able to offer that boarding option.
Yeah.
When we him, it just wasn't a good fit. It would have caused him a lot of stress and anxiety and would not have been safe for our fur friends visiting us. But now we have two fur girls who love playing with all the doggy friends that come over. So we're able to open that up and open our home.
I'm sure they're like, they all came to see me.
I know. And they have a ball with them, and they have no problem sharing toys and dog beds and blankets and all the things.
That's cool. So I've never done that before. And if I wanted someone to come walk my dog, say I wanted you to come walk my dog, if I'm at work, how does that work? Like, how do you get the dog? How do you, and if someone wanted to do that and say they couldn't call you if they were somewhere else, what are questions they should ask? Like about, what should they look for?
So your fur babies are like your children, that, and I know that. So if at all possible, I would always recommend a meet and greet. So you know who's coming into your home and you feel comfortable with the person being around your fur baby.
Yeah.
And what I offer privately is a meet and greet for free. And then obviously if they book services, we go from there. If it's not a good fit, that's fine. And we can both move on. Some great questions to ask at that meet and greet from my end is, how would you like me to access your home? Is there a hidden key? Is there a door code? Is there a garage code? What's your comfort level?
Yeah.
And what is their feeding schedule like? Do I need to feed them when I come in? Are there any allergies that I need to be aware of? Are there any toy aggressions, leash aggression when they're out on the walk? And then from the pet owner's perspective, same questions. I mean, and an experience from the caregiver. You know, what is your experience around dogs? Do you have some of your own? Have you ever volunteered at a shelter? Are you comfortable giving meds, or by capsule or by rectal or whatever they need?
Yeah.
Just the depth of their experience. And then at the end of that 20-minute time or 30-minute time, the goal is to be comfortable with who's in your home. And
Right.
yeah, do you have, are there any other questions about that, or did I cover
No,
everything?
that's fantastic. And I'm just kind of laughing to myself that as a pharmacist, I never even thought about the medication question. And I'm like, that's so good. That would
There
be
are
so good to
definitely
know.
senior fur babies, or just fur babies that have chronic issues or ongoing
Yeah.
illnesses from birth that need, you know, meds every day.
So when you like, if they have someone that comes through WAG, does that cover, is there insurance stuff that has to be done through that?
Yes, the WAG offers insurance and fully vets all their caregivers with background checks. So when a person enters your home, a caregiver, they are covered and insured by WAG.
Okay. I wondered about that too, because I imagine that's something people would probably, they might not think that they need, but probably that's something that they should
That's
think
very
about.
valid. Yes. And a lot of pet owners, with technology being available, they have nanny cams, ring cams, outdoors and indoors. So if you're not able to schedule that meet and greet when you're both available in person, you have that peace of mind as a homeowner and a pet owner to have. And we as pet care providers go into every home we visit with that knowledge of we are most likely being recorded, and we need to be aware of that and respectful. And
Yes.
yep.
Yeah. It's nice that those things are more accessible now than,
Mhm.
not that long ago, that was a luxury, and now it's a lot easier for people to have that. So, okay. Yeah, that is fantastic. I appreciate it, because those are things I thought, I wonder how that I would almost be afraid to do that to any poor dog walker in our house because of the mayhem they'd be walking into. So I've been like, well, we've never done that before, but if we did, I wouldn't know. I mean, I know you, so that would be different. But if I didn't know you, then I was like, I wonder how that works and how someone would know that
we
everything's safe.
we had an exchange student live with us from Germany, and she loves dogs. And so when she heard what I did and got to go on a couple visits with me, she's like, oh, this would never happen in Germany. You would never have someone come into your home that you didn't know, a complete stranger. Like, we all walk our own dogs. Like, this is not, this is definitely a difference,
Yeah. But a lot of times it's tough, especially I know a lot of people, well, our floofs were COVID dogs. A lot of people, ended up with COVID dogs, and then a lot of them were able to stay work from home, but a lot of them weren't. And then people were going back on site, and they had these dogs that were used to someone being around all day, and they weren't accustomed to being in a crate all day long or being on their own. And then they're like, what do we do with these dogs? So that's, fabulous that they can do that, because sometimes it's not like they work around the corner where they can run home and let them out in the middle of the day. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I think you are so good with like being quick-witted and like great with words. So if you ever needed to be on the WAG app, you have the ability to create a profile, for your dog and their personality and what to expect, and for each individual fur baby. So I feel that if I saw your dogs on there, I would get a real clear picture of what I was coming into before I entered.
That's good to know. It's funny because, with Zoom, so Zoom gives me the ability to record these, but I was like, oh, I'm absolutely not going to use the video recording though. Cause I was like, oh, I'm absolutely not going to do that. Well, then it's funny because it was like maybe the very first one, and all of a sudden behind me, I'm seeing like all of these shenanigans. And then all of a sudden I see like this big furry rear end flying over the chair. And I was like, I don't know. I might have to use some of the video at some point, because
that would be very entertaining.
Yeah, and like Dottie made an appearance. So, we might just have to put a little post in there so we can see her. It's fun to see. And people, there've been several that pups have made appearances, and it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I might have to just edit that and just have that, where people can see. But I will definitely include a picture of Jack, and I'll also include all your information for WAG, so that way if someone wants to reach out.
Yeah, I would love it. And I just would love to leave your podcast listeners with a phrase that I love to say, and it's that God is dog spelled backwards because they are the earthly evidence of his unconditional love.
Oh, that's so true. So true. Yeah, it's amazing. So that's a perfect ending. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for the invite, and I'm glad I could come on. It's so good to see your face, Julie. Thanks for doing it.
You too.
Thank you so much for being here, and have a great one, friends. Don't forget to head over to Facebook and Instagram to see pup pictures. Head to the website for your free gift, or if you would like to share a story, any story ideas or suggestions. And finally, if you want to receive this podcast automatically, please subscribe or like in your podcatcher. And if you like what I'm doing, please consider sharing and liking, and maybe even being really wild and crazy and leaving a comment so other people can find out about it and we can share more stories. Please always remember that you are as great as your dog thinks you are, and smooch your pooch. Have a great one, y'all.